Ladies and gentlemen, it is now official. G4TV has once again been cancelled. Yes, Comcast, the billion-dollar entertainment platform, has pulled the plug officially, ending the comeback for a gamer-focused network. Now, gaming has been popular now more than ever, right? More people are playing games, but here's the thing, and something that I pointed out in previous videos on the subject right here. When it comes to new games that are coming out, like people getting hyped and excited for AAA games that are out right now, it's kind of at an all-time low, because it's weird. Gaming, especially when it comes to mobile gaming, because it really taps into that whole transient, casual market, unlike anything else in entertainment. And, most women play their mobile games, okay? It's a low cost of entry. It's something with a very high upside. You control all the resources that are on it, all the transactions, all the microtransactions that are on there, all the different cosmetics that you can buy for your Farmvilles and shit like that. I don't know what the hell is actually going on when it comes to video games. I punched out a long time ago when it comes to new video games, okay? I liked Final Fantasy VII Remake. The rest of the stuff I checked out years and years ago. Mass Effect Andromeda was what killed my love of video games, and it's going to be a real tough feat in order to bring me back, because I'm so goddamn busy and I got other shit to do besides sink a bunch of time, hundreds of hours into a video game, okay? But even still, people like it, okay? I can't deny that, and I can't change that, and you know what? There should be a place that gets covered, okay? And G4 was the perfect avenue, and it was about the right time for it to come back, right? But they sunk so much money into this stuff, dude. Like Comcast, what was it? Like, it's over a 60,000-foot studio that they bought for or 60,000 square foot studio, 60,000 feet, and it's like, that's a nice long hallway that you bought for us. But no, it's this entire compound. They brought back a couple of names that you might remember. One particular one that we're going to take a look at here, because, oh boy, his spurgeoning has been pretty epic. And then a couple of contemporary YouTubers that are out there. And one very poisonous, one very toxic individual who has a history of getting kicked out of different places. And, well, if it was any question that maybe G4 shouldn't be spending that much stuff before they have a proven product, and maybe it should be a more personality-driven service as opposed to just the old bright lights and shiny colors of traditional media, well, she went and dispelled that in a moment's notice with 3 simple words. But we'll get to those as well, okay? Because we got plenty of Twitter spurgouts. We just want to get to the facts first and foremost. So, Comcast's Spectacor division is pulling the plug on a video game-centric network, G4TV. Yeah. And I know a bunch of people are going to say, I feel bad for the people that were still working there. They lost their job, blah, blah, blah. If you couldn't see the writing on the wall all the way back in January that this was a fucking sinking ship, you deserve everything that you get, okay? I'm tired of playing fucking nice, okay? If you see that something is going wrong in your workplace and you understand that there is a simple phrase that goes along with this stuff every single time, and it always bores out true, and this is the most concrete example of this statement being 1000% factual. Get woke, go broke. They decided to go whole hog, and apparently once we get to what Frosk is talking about, sexism in gaming personified, everybody was on board with her little rant that killed the company. So if you weren't down with that stuff, if you weren't down with the ideology, I don't know what to tell you. But in a memo sent out to all employees, Spectacor CEO Dave Scott explained that the company's investments and efforts to revive the network just didn't gain traction. Yeah, but they were buying viewers. Oh no, I'm sorry, getting definitely organic growth, being put on the front page of Twitch, and getting low 5 digits with the name G4 on the front page of Twitch, and you could barely crack 20,000 live viewers for something that had such a high production budget. Oof, that's sad. A few dozen employees and contract workers are affected by the shutdown. Comcast said it will assist them in outplacement and consider some for internal opportunities, which is more or less like, yeah, okay, cool, we'll just continue to pay you throughout the end of the year, but then after that, adios, cocksuckers. The departure over the summer of Russell Aarons, an experienced digital media executive who had come aboard G4's president. Who had come aboard as G4's president, in 2021, was the precursor to today's news. Yeah, that and so many other people. Her duties? What? Russell's not a girl's name. Were added to a portfolio of Joe Marsh, Comcast Spectacor vet, who has been CEO of T1. No, not that T1. Oh, okay. An international esports joint venture with Korea's SK Telecom. Which is funny because another guy, one of the previous presidents that was there, and he was initially a part of G4, the name's escaping me right now, but he left because he wanted to make G4 a little bit more esports centric, which is why Frosk ended up getting her in there, because she was one of the outcast members of the League of Legends community, very big on the esports scene. If I'm making reference to things that seem a little bit too nebulous for some people that normally come through for the political coverage, just know that it's a game and it's an outcast individual. It's kind of like somebody got kicked out of the squad for being too woke. We'll just go with that one. How about that? That's who Frosk was. So it's like, why would you invite her in the front door? Why would you give her a forward-facing spot on some of your premier shows? Like, nobody likes her. She comes from a community that ostracized her, but you decided that we need diversity. Okay, you don't understand what the platform was built on. It was built on attractive women in a small amount of clothing, and Adam Sessler just reading off a couple of reviews every once in a while. Outside of that, man, it's pretty simple, and in today's climate, in today's society, a return to that would have been different, it would have been welcomed, and you could have printed fucking money off the back of that. But you didn't, you just decided to go down the same track that everybody else does, and now you gotta pay the fucking piper. Current iteration of G4 is smaller and less focused on traditional linear TV. Well, it had to be after the speech that killed the company. Then was its predecessor. It was announced a programming slate including a revived version of original G4 mainstays, Attack of the Show and X-Play, plus comedy-boosted Japanese competition series Ninja Warrior. Really sounds like it's scaled down, right? Esports competitions and Dungeons and Dragons limited series. Yeah, it tried to take the best of what is currently going on YouTube and then just put it and supercharge it with a higher budget. Sounds like a win-win situation, right? You can cherry pick the different personalities that are out there, right? You had the super charismatic, what's his name? Xavier Woods from WWE, whose entire life goal was to host a show on G4. This was even prior to the company reviving itself, okay? So you cherry picked him, gave him a premier position. Should have attracted some eyeballs, right? Oh, it's almost like WWE doesn't make stars anymore. Interesting. And then you also got another guy whose lifelong goal was to be a part of G4 in some form or fashion, to host his own video gaming show. Somebody who I've given big credit to because I've talked to him before, I've met him, I know he's a good dude. Gerard Khalil, okay, the completionist. He wanted desperately to be a part of G4 during its prime, okay, and then had the opportunity to come aboard. And then when he learned about the company closing down, he learned about it when the memo ended up leaking. We'll be reading the memo here, but he just tweeted out in response to that, it's like, oh, I guess that's how I figured out that I lost my job. It's like, dude, you have a 1 million subscriber channel. You have a bunch of other smaller channels in your, what does he call his little group? That one video gamer? That whole cabal, okay? All of those people that are right there. Like, he has an ecosystem of about 2 million subscribers, at least 1.5 million subscribers, somewhere in that area. He is successful, independent of G4, okay? And outside of a couple of hiccups, he has general goodwill on YouTube. As far as I know, I kind of checked out of the content a long time ago. I don't really subscribe to any gaming YouTubers anymore. Sorry, that was my thing for a minute, and then I grew up. I don't know what to tell you, but there's plenty of people out there that their entire lifestyle centers around gaming, okay? I don't know what to tell you. Along with putting content on YouTube and social media, G4 has a multi-year agreement with Twitch and pay TV distribution deals with Verizon Vios, Cox Cable, Infinity TV, and Philo. I don't know what that one is, but the rest of them, yeah, just traditional streaming or traditional television outlets. But that's funny. I thought you just mentioned before Deadline that they were not focusing on traditional linear TV, but your distribution methods are the same. Can you, I don't know, was there two different people writing this article? Because it seems like those ideas were clashing a little bit. Several media and tech ventures centered on the gaming community have hit turbulence recently. Yeah, it's almost like the entire gaming ecosphere, whatever the hell you want to call it, has kind of been at odds since about, you? I don't know. You know, that big event that none of the journalists want to talk about, but the gamers themselves, I know that that's a dirty word for some people out there. They're kind of at odds with the people who are making the games, because the people who are making the games are super fucking woke elitists, and the people that play the games just want good fucking games at the end of the day. They're tired of getting milked for their hard-earned money. They pay $60, okay? And then they're forced to pay additional money to play online features that are already included in the full purchase. So by the end of the day, they're having to spend hundreds of dollars on a fucking game in order to, you know, stay competitive. And you ask them to do that multiple times throughout the year, they're like, fucking deuces, we'll just play some of the old stuff. It was better, it was less woke, and it wasn't trying to fucking preach to us about all the current modern day problems that you elitists in the fucking cloistered blue areas that you live in, okay? That's why there's a problem within the gamer community. Facebook shut down its gaming app. I didn't know that was still a thing. Okay, Google, yeah, winding down its gaming service Stadia. That really doesn't have anything to do with gamers themselves. It was just a shit product, maybe a little bit before its time. What they were trying to do was totally revolutionize cloud gaming, so it's a good idea in practice. Or in theory, sorry, but in practice, you also have to realize that not a lot of people have high-speed, reliable internet, so to completely have a full-priced game on the cloud that you can only access via streaming and having solid internet the entire time in order to play a game where it's not choppy. It's an ambitious goal. It's probably where games are ultimately going to end up, but you are at least a decade before time on that one, so that's why that one failed. It had nothing to do with the politics on top of this stuff. Then a startup billed as MTV of video games. Oh boy, how did that not succeed? G4's initial run began in 2002 under co-owners NBC Universal and Dish Network. The network was created by former Disney TV executive Charles Hirschhorn, okay, who said it was a successor to MTV and its potential to tap into youth culture. Yeah, because it had a lot of attractive women in bikinis doing questionable things, and yeah, guess what? Young boys like that kind of shit. And you also talked about video games and pop culture things, and you weren't trying to preach to anybody? Fucking bet. A number of notable personalities appeared as hosts on G4 in its early run, among them Olivia Munn, who, yeah, back in the early 2000s was all aces. Chris Hardwick, Kevin Pereira, and Grace Hallberg. And, what's her name? Morgan Webb, right, the strongest jaw in gaming. After it went dark in 2014, G4's place on the dial was taken over by Esquire Network, which, whatever, I don't fucking know about any of that stuff. But let's take a look at the memo itself. The one that I seen get released, okay? And the one that was sent out to the remaining members of G4, a couple of dozen that were still left there and that just knew that there was a sword of Damocles dangling over the top of them. Team, as you know, G4 was reintroduced last year to tap into the popularity of gaming. We invested to create the new G4 as an online and TV destination for fans to be entertained, be inspired, and connect with gaming content. Over the past several months, we worked hard to generate that interest in G4, but viewership is low and the network has not achieved sustainable financial results. This is certainly not what we hoped for, and as a result, we have made the very difficult decision to discontinue G4's operations effective immediately. So it's done. I know this is disappointing news, and I'm disappointed too. I want to thank you and everyone on the G4 team for the hard work and commitment to the network, especially you, Frosk. Fucking bitch. Our human resources department will be reaching out to provide you with support, to discuss other opportunities that may be available, and answer any questions you may have. Thank you again sincerely for all your hard work. Sincerely, Dave Scott, Chairman, CEO, Comcast, Spectacor. Yep, exactly. So, came in with a whimper, went out with a cry. Sucks to suck. Now you're just going to have decentralized video game coverage, kind of like you've had the entire time G4 has been rebooted and nobody was really paying attention to this shit. But it is the most clear-cut, concrete example of getting woke and going broke. So, how about a word? Because we got a word from the chairman, the CEO, pulled the plug, okay? What about the impetus of all this stuff? Because this could have just subsisted for a very long time. But no, it decided to wade into the culture war, not knowing the way that the winds are blowing, and then just decided to double down on hating on the fans. Exactly what turned everybody away from those old legacy gaming outlets. Nobody goes to IGN except for belly laughs. GameSpot is fucking irrelevant. Game trailers fucking closed down. Nobody takes... There is less of a stigma attached to pedophiles than there is gaming journalists, and the amount of crossover there is fucking astronomical. But no, this whole gamers is dead culture that was gestated in, what was that, 2014, 2015? Having the upper crust, okay, having the elitist games journalist take on their audience thinking that they know better, and then having the audience push back on them, and then them cry, sexism, racism, you guys are obes and igots and all of that terrible stuff on the blight on society, but we know better than you. We will proselytize to you. And that's why gaming, that's why new IPs, that's why any sort of iterative IP interest in all of them, everybody just kind of shudders whenever you hear an announcement that, oh yeah, we're going to be getting a new game in this beloved franchise. It's like, oh, we got to wait for the trailers to see how bad it's going to be. Oh, it could be all right. Oh, just please don't suck. Oh, please don't preach to me. That really should have been done and dusted by this point, but no. There's still people that want to continue to beat that drum, and we've talked about it enough, and we're going to get into what Frosk had to say about all this stuff, because we talked about her last time, and what was that, a couple of weeks ago when she got axed after, you know, mass layoffs were going on G4, and then she just decided to tweet out one of the most tone-deaf things I have ever seen in my entire fucking life. Joe Biden was more dignified when he said that there were 13 service members killed in Afghanistan during his hasty withdrawal, because after the word went out that, you know, dozens of people are going to be losing their job at G4, Frosk decided to tweet out a picture of the deal with its sunglasses on an iguana saying, I survived. Nobody was hoping for that, okay, because you caused all of this stuff. You were the match that lit the powder keg that led to the fucking explosion, well, actually implosion of G4TV. So, now that it's all done and dusted and that the internal rot has taken the host over completely, what does she have to say about this? My Sexism in Gaming segment was approved by all the executive showrunners in XPlay. If anybody that was around knew this stuff and knew that it was signed off on, I would play you the rant, but it's actually really hard to find because they've kind of scrubbed it off the internet. But long story short, she was just blaming, it's such an old argument at this point, she was blaming the audience, saying that, oh, you don't like the reviews that I read off the screen because I'm an unattractive woman, and that you just like G4 because of titties beforehand. It's like, yeah, no, cool, continue to speak the truth. And then just, you know, continue to blame everybody else except for her outright a lack of self-awareness and her inability to take responsibility for her just brain-dead fucking takes. Because all of that, okay, her Sexism in Gaming rant, that was her response to her take that the PS5 was going to fail because the Sony doesn't have any exclusives. It's like, that's just patently retarded. Okay, and then people were calling her out for that, and she's like, you guys just continue to call me out because I'm a girl. Thanks for telling me, because I just thought that you were a George Washington enthusiast, because those chompers look like they've been nailed in like fucking fence posts. So the fact that, and everybody could kind of figure that out at the time, because yeah, she was reading off the teleprompter, this fucking screed. She might not have clued everybody else in that was in on that situation, because you had Sessler on via remote, okay, because he was on the television doing his stupid alligator golf clap, I stream with my heroes, and Gerard was unfortunately caught up in the crossfire. He's like, I can't really throw everybody under the bus. It's like, I didn't know we were going here, but I'm down with it. Oh god, I can see the rest of it coming down with everybody else. But the fact that this was all scripted and rehearsed and ran back again, like anybody that was within earshot or knew that this was going out, they should have already been handing out their resume to other places. Okay, starting your own channel, okay, just doing what you do independent to this fucking sinking ship, because the writing was on the wall back in January. Okay, anyways, to continue. When I was originally hired and cast, G4 made the internal statement that diversity and inclusion was what was built on to fix the past. That's when you know, okay, the rot was already sunk in. It was already building a fucking rotten building on quicksand. I was fully supported initially until doxing and threats. Oh, can you provide any receipts on that, or are you just going to play the victim? 2 points if you can guess correctly on that one. Then I asked for support multiple times, and I was ignored or directly lied to about support coming. No guidelines, no plans, no help. Then management changed, and it became openly hostile. And then you continued to stay on, because remember, this happened at the beginning of the year. We're in the middle of fucking October, okay? And you got fired, I think, just before or just after Labor Day. So you were there for another 9 fucking months. And you didn't want to bring this up at any point in time. You didn't want to step away from your role that was there. You didn't want to approach human resources and say that, yeah, as a he, her, they, them, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, you got pronouns in your bio, okay? You'll be fucking fine, okay? I'm sure a lot of people are signed up to your Twitch. And you're a part of a United Talent agency, whatever the fuck that is, okay? You are a person of somewhat prominence. Somebody will stupidly pick you up, and then the cycle will continue anew, because there is no such thing as fucking karma in this universe, and bad things happen to everybody. Bad people continue to fucking subsist, because you still got simps in there, because this is just overwhelmingly positive still, right? Like, I don't know what the responses are, even though she has everything turned off, but it still has 3,500 fucking likes on it, okay? And then the rest of it's still overwhelmingly positive, because simps are gonna simp. And now, this is the last thing I'll ever say about G4. People who I worked for were lovely. I gave them everything, producer, writer, host, and more. Would do it again. Love you all. It was such a terrible situation that I would never do it again. I'm not going to talk about G4 anymore, but I would do it all over again. This person cannot take fucking responsibility for what they did. Not saying that they ultimately killed it, but they definitely were the one to light the fucking match. And when I say that she can't take responsibility for anything that she does, we're going to read one reply that she has in this fucking long thread, okay? And I'm sure that there are a bunch of other stupid replies as well, but we got to get to what Sessler's been doing, because that motherfucker has been going off. I'm sorry you went through this. Roma Di Nova, have no idea what the fuck that pronouns in bio. That's all you need to know about that, okay? I'm sorry you went through this. At my prior employer, see, because women and their sophistry is fucking amazing. I was doxxed and harassed, and they had no support from me outside of the coworkers who knew, cared, checking up on me. Yeah, maybe you did something stupid and you had to pay the price for it, but nobody wanted to pay attention to me. It was really messed up, and I hope you were able to find somewhere in the future who supports you more. Yeah, because we know that you can't support yourself, okay? Your personality is that of 20 grit sandpaper used to wax your testicle. They don't want to give you the time of day anymore. You burnt too many fucking bridges, so stay on your island that you've created for yourself. But anyways, yeah, in response, yeah, I feel bad. I've been in your situation too. Everything's terrible. I make lots of claims and I can't back any of them up. Doesn't exist in this industry, but I'm leaving it, so it's all good. Would do it again, but I'm leaving it. I got no support, but everybody's great. What the fuck are you talking about? And you know what? Hey, sayonara, goodbye. Until you say something equally stupid, I will never fucking see you ever again. And it couldn't come a moment too soon. Now, somebody who actually has quite a bit of talent, okay? Like him or not, okay, his politics are, well, he's basically become his politics. And I've seen some of the responses. We're going to go through the long list of responses that he has here, and replies and retweets and all of the other spurging that he's done. Adam Sessler is a talented reviewer. He knows his shit when it comes to the video game industry, and he's right at the top of the field. If you can keep him away from politics or his own social media, maybe he'd be a little bit better off. But again, like, I've watched his stuff, not too much of his G4 stuff, right? Because I'm up here in Canada, we didn't have access to G4TV, but when he was a part of Rev 3, Revision 3, okay, there was a couple of other people that have spun off, and I think one of them works for IGN now. It was a good up-and-coming channel, right? And then he just decided to spin out because, I don't know, maybe he was just doing the shit behind the scenes, and then that project slowly wilted and died. Kind of sucks. And the last time we talked about G4, I played you the clip of when he was up on the stage saying that, yeah, if anybody does anything bad, I'll dox you and I won't feel bad about it. And then everybody in the audience just clapped like fucking seals. And you should have known the writing was on the wall all the way back then. But what I've got up here at the top, okay, you got his little bio right there. I think last time we looked at this as well, he had pronouns in it because of course he did, but he's changed it now. Still woke, not broke. Yeah, he's taken these social media posts very personally. And is he handling it well? Well, I'll leave that for you to decide. Okay, so he was basically off social media from October 10th, okay? Didn't post anything, didn't see anything before that as well. And then he decided to go full fucking force after the memo got leaked. Okay, so the first thing that he says, I want to send my best wishes to some of the best and most talented people I've ever worked with. Please hit me up. If there is some way I can help, you're all too awesome to find your way. Big love. If it would have stayed right there, that would have been a nice thing to say, okay? Like, this dude has a long history in television. He's successful. He can go out there and continue to get work. But maybe not after this entire scorched earth gimmick that he's pulling right now. But yeah, man, very classy statement. Very classy statement. Great way to go. And to those misguided who need to send vitriol, go right ahead. So he's rage baiting. He's calling for it. He wants it. Okay. Does he want the smoke, or can he not handle the smoke? We wouldn't be going over this if you already knew that it was the latter. But anyways, I'll keep taking your hits like I have for 20 years. Oh my God, this same motherfucker is like, I will never go back to a network because everything just started to become about, you know, superfluous things like where you can have your parking spot, and it was just a little click like in high school. Okay, cool. So you're just falling back into old habits now, are you, Sess? I'll still be here just caring about the good people who got jacked. Well, you didn't really do anything to course correct for the company. Now you're just throwing it under the bus because it gets worse. It gets worse. A lot of people limiting their tweets can't really gain any sort of idea what he's talking about here. Your ability to listen to me without any regard for independent thought for 20 years is quite staggering too. I don't know, it's probably one of those get woke, go broke gimmicks. Just ask your mom. I'm doing fine. Nice grade school shit, I guess. Just bring out the innate qualities that keep anyone from fucking them. Are you instigating incels again, Adam? Oh yeah, see, of course. But aren't, because again, you're in the gaming industry, and what's the overarching stereotype of your consumer base? Oh, okay, cool. So again, this just goes to show you, the gaming journalists hate the people that view what they do. They don't like them, okay? They just look at them as plebs. If they would just all disappear in a moment, they wouldn't give two fucks about them. That's why there's such a distaste and a disregard for gaming journalists that are out there. Kids, especially the ones reacting to this moderate riposte. Oh, riposte. See, I'm so smart. I grew up in Richmond, California in the 70s and 80s and used to buy demo tapes out of Too Short's truck. I have to say more. I just can't on this site. Oh, and we aren't even... this is just the beginning, so he can't on the site. But he continues to go about everything, okay? Responding to, you know, just your regular rank and file, Adam Sessler got woke and went broke. And here comes the ether. Here comes the smoke. Do you fuckwits have one writer who only knows one rhyme? Well, you could repost when he said that if any one of your relatives who died and ended up, you found out that he voted Republican, or he or she voted Republican, you would celebrate their death and sip on something bubbly. Guys, we could run that back if you'd like. Also, like a real adult, unlike your mom. Oh shit! You're using this. You're using the your mom quote 2 times within like a dozen tweets. Who's the only one without a writer here? Wow, really exposes you as being really talented on your feet. I have multiple incomes. Go fuck a sheep again, you desperate Nazi. You said get woke, go broke. You have no fucking idea what that guy's political affiliation is. It could just be, you know, some transient drive-by commentator, but hey man, I kind of respect him going full fucking force on him, okay, just completely dropping the ether, but making a lot of assumptions there, and a couple of really defamatory statements about Leonard Watuki. No fucking idea. Your mom's got thick skin. Okay, again, like a real adult. I have multiple. You only know one rhyme. Okay, cool. All right, so Mr. Nobody. Oh, wow. So we're embracing stereotypes and unironically using Nazi as an insult for people who disagree with us. Adam, while you're over here being adults, maybe you could just grow a thicker skin and not allow ourselves to your mom jokes. Just a thought. Your mom's got a thick skin. Great. Wonderful. Fantastic. Triple Z's, a grown man resorting to your mom claps. This is how grown adults cope, I guess. All right. I mean, I consider funding a House candidate in your district that cuts off all federal funding, so you have to whore your daughters off to make ends meet when I drive by laughing, or I could make fun of your mom. Wow! At least you get points for creativity on that one. Jesus. Oh, but there he is, back again with the Ask Your Mom from a suspended account. Okay, cool, wonderful, fantastic. Then you got this. So one hell of a therapy session. Ran Ran some math and a novelty of when I started at ZDTV, Ziff Davis TV, before it ended up going into and becoming G4TV, a little history lesson. With a nascent internet, and I think I might have one of the longest records of consistent online hate. Not the most. See, okay, sometimes I like to call out women, especially the women who like to play into the whole victimhood narrative, but just goes to show you that sometimes when your feminism runs as deep, okay, when you're a self-professed ally like Adam Sessler, the whole victimhood grift knows no gender. Either one of them. Nothing to be proud of but humanity. Also, kids, if you can, and that's not easy, have a therapist. Oh, okay, cool. It should be as common as toilet paper. Common is where you write your scripts for your reviews. Another your mom joke. Jesus Christ. Oh, good citizen there. Go woke, go broke. Are you all from West Virginia or something? Oh, okay, cool. No, nobody of value has ever come from West Virginia in Adam Sessler's mind. And you think you have to abide by what the boss tells you to get his currency. How adorable. You ain't busting anything, you hipster wash up. Ad hominem, but not untrue. How's that new and improved G4 working out for you? Back to obscurity. You go get woke, go broke. Fair enough. And then his response, your mom said I wasn't obscure. Oh, shit. Anyways, big shout out tonight to those that run G4 for making my life more miserable than usual. Bro, you're the one engaging these motherfuckers. You don't have to do that. It's pretty easy. Because you even said before, I can't even on this platform. Okay? Can you do this thing? Do this thing with your phone. Just go black screen. Throw it away. Nobody cares. If you would have just stayed with your original fucking statement, as classy as it was, I gave you props for it. But then to just run it back within a mere set of hours, those running that run G4 for making my life more miserable than usual, when I barely have been working for them in the first place. Oh, okay. So you're just trying to attention grift off of something that you were barely putting any effort in, but then you were also trying to clout jack off of how long you've been with the companies. Oh, okay. In for a penny, in for a pounding for your bullshit. Pounding your mom. Was it worse than last time talking about G4? No, just stupider. Oh boy, how long before we start to get some real talk Adam Sessler drunk tweeting about the internal machinations of G4TV this time around? That'd be great. Do you not have a YouTube or a Twitch channel? If not, definitely consider starting. My man, we definitely follow. Yeah, if he'd stay out of politics, that would be alright, because he's pretty talented at what he does, but it's getting to a point, right? Because there's some pretty heinous criminals that still hold down a decent job, and, you know, especially the NFL, right? It's one of those things. Sometimes talent just rises above so many other aspects, like a shit character, but here's the thing. This might be a point of no return. Like, he'd be able to start his own YouTube channel. Like, nothing's going to stop him from doing that. He has the right politics, but getting another cushy job, like another restart, like another G4 type thing, yeah, I don't really know if that's going to happen for him. Okay, now I'm old and comfortable. This is pretty much it. Really comfortable continuing to fight the quote-unquote spurgs on Twitter, but okay, that's pretty much it. Unknown to some retainer inhalers. Oh my god. See, you're incels, and you guys are just nerds. Yeah, gamers are nerds. Oh, big shock. You should know that if you have such a long, consistent history in the industry. Anyways, I have other investments than a job. I'm out of the game until I'm interested. For now, I'm not interested. Oh, no. That's also the response that you were getting from a bunch of other places that you were sending out any feelers to. Anyways, apparently, we'll just hit the refresh button on this one, because I don't know, because this was 4 hours ago. So, no, it is his last tweet on this, and hopefully the last time we'll ever have to talk about Adam Sessler. Okay, go woke, go broke. Once again, just really taking on the high-powered criticism of how he's handling all this stuff. Go woke, go broke. Do you live in Mississippi? Oh, okay, so he's at least changed states on this one. Okay, Faulkner is my idol. But you think you're unique in this moment, but really you eat the same slop at the same trough. Go fuck a relation. Oh, see? people from Mississippi are just cousin fuckers. So what we can learn from Adam Sessler is if he ends up starting a channel for himself, he might be a bit of a stand-up comedian, but don't expect any diversity, okay? Don't expect any diversity in this set. It's mostly just going to be motherfucking jokes and cousin fucking jokes and just an utter distaste for the people that he finds himself ideologically opposed to. He continues down this rabbit hole. The next time we're going to be talking about him is because somebody found him, or maybe one of his cats started nibbling on his toes after he found a sturdy belt and an exposed rafter. I hope not, but seen this pattern before. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.